if time allows, okay, we can also discuss about worker roles, how to use it, but right now I just want to concentrate on Windows Azure. Okay, so before starting the Windows Azure, okay, I want to discuss about the cloud computing, okay, a little bit on cloud computing. So like in case if you're completely new to cloud. So cloud computing, we can say it is like use of computing resources um, uh, in the form of service over network, or you can say over internet. Okay, now here you might be aware about the computing word. Okay, computing is required in order to execute your application. Okay, or whenever you run your application, you require a processing power. So that we call it as compute, and it actually made up of both hardware and software. So it can be hardware based or it can be software based. So when we talk about cloud computing, it is actually the use of the computing resources, whether it is hardware or software, and which is delivered as a service over the internet. Now, there are many kind of public cloud models available. Okay, so mainly we will be discussing about IaaS or platform as service or infrastructure as service and software as service in this particular session. And when you deal with cloud, okay, you should know about at least these terminologies, okay, because they play actually very important role. So whenever you have a meeting with your client or customer, and whenever you require to talk to your customer, you should know, like when he's talking, what is his requirement. It is about SaaS or PaaS or IaaS. Though definitely in future the gap between these models will get narrower and narrower, but right now according to the requirement of partners, sometimes it is more feasible for him to go with IaaS and sometimes to go with PaaS model. So apart from these three main public cloud computing models, there are several other public cloud models also available. Like you can heard somewhere like network as service or storage as service or security as service or data as service. Then there is desktop as service, database as service, so API as service. So all these kind of public cloud computing services are coming up with each and every day. Now, cloud computing, it also provides various, or you can say like it exhibits various characteristics. Like one is the agility. Okay, agility, you can say it improves the user's ability to re-provision the technological infrastructure resources, okay, because you can reuse them again and again, you can reallocate them again and again. Then you have API. So most of the time cloud computing system, it actually uses the REST-based APIs. And what is the main reason why you want to suggest your customer to take his application or migrate his application to cloud? So there may be a requirement of scalability, high availability, or infrastructure cost. These three reasons we can cite here, okay. Like maybe your customer, he doesn't want to invest much in the infrastructure, and he feels like it is a time to go with public cloud because there is a service provider who is managing everything for him, okay. And cost could be one factor. Then device and location independence also, we can cite one characteristic here, because it actually enables the users to access systems using a web browser regardless of their location or what device they are using. So because it is a web browser, they can access it on any device. And then there are other three important things like scalability, I highlighted just now, and virtualization and elasticity. So I'm coming to this when we will be starting talking about cloud model. And performance is also one thing, okay, because everything is centralized located, so it can be monitored easily. The performance can be monitored, and we can also use a loosely coupled architecture, okay, using web services, which is very much possible. So you can simply create or design your application just you design any web application, but you also need to keep few things in your mind because you are going to develop a PaaS application. You might be using SDK for that, for writing your software, and after that you can easily host your application in cloud. So maintenance also, we can say, one of the key characteristic of public cloud, or you can say the cloud computing. It is much more easier because you really do not need to install it on each and every user computer, and you can access it from different location because you are going to access the data centers here. So I just want to start our conversation from our very much existing on-premises servers model. Okay, this is our existing model. Now in this particular model, you can say it is very much in place and used by the enterprises, as well as it is a very common model. Now here we need to take the ownership of everything. We need to bring up our own systems. We need to take care of the connectivity between the systems, and we need to think of which software we want to install. We need to take the decision about the operating system. So everything, the ownership from the beginning till the end, it is lying on us. Okay, and that is why, because you're planning everything from the beginning, like which operating system to go with, which software we need to install, how many servers we are requiring in our data center and all. So that provides you the complete control over the data center, over the complete control over the model itself, and it also keeps the full responsibility on you, because in case if any of the server goes down, it is our responsibility to bring it back. Okay, we need to keep the monitoring thing on our own, and we need to check all the servers are all on all the time. Okay, they are active, they are on. It should not be like one server is down. So this complete responsibility is on us. And also we need to bear the upfront capital cost here for the infrastructure. So we need to decide, like in case if I'm hosting my application, how many servers we required, and we also need to bear the upfront capital cost for it. So maybe your customer will bear that cost, or maybe we will bear that cost. So this is about the on-premises model, which is already in existence, most of the time used by the enterprises for whom the infrastructure cost hardly matters. Then we have another model, which is hosted servers model, which is also very much in use these days. Here the consumers, they take the systems on rent, okay, and because maybe they need the systems for some time, or maybe they do not want to bear the cost of upfront servers. Okay, so here they rent the systems from hosted service providers. And these providers, they provide the systems, as well as they take care of the connectivity of the systems. That means they take care of network connectivity between them, and they also take care of the like which particular operating system you have requested for. So they take care of when the next patch need to be installed on the servers. Okay, so they take care of that much of thing. And here, if you compare it with on-premises model, you will find definitely you will have less control over the whole model, because at the end the networking part will be handled by your service provider, and which particular server he want to place, it is his choice. Okay, or maybe you are paying according to the server's configuration what you have selected, but you will have less control in comparison to the on-premises model. You will have fewer responsibilities, because the networking part and the load balancing thing all will be handled. Anything related to infrastructure will be managed by the hosted service providers itself. Definitely the capital cost on your infrastructure will be less, because you're taking the systems on rent. So, but the drawback is that if you compare it with on-premises model, here you need to pay for the systems even if you are not using them for the whole month. Okay, let's say you have taken the system for let's say for testing purpose, and you know that you need the infrastructure, or you need the rented system for 3 months. Okay, but even then you need, or maybe in a month you're using them for 15 days, but as per the model, okay, you need to pay the fixed rent of the systems to the provider. So whether you're using them or not, you need to pay a fixed amount to the service provider every month. Okay, but these days there are a lot of hosted service providers who are also managing these services and um, also providing the uh, cost on the pay as per you as you go. Okay, so whatever services you are using, based on it they will pay you. But there are very less hosted service providers like this. Now coming our cloud platform. So cloud computing, it is completely based on sharing and multi-tenancy features, okay, because it is based on these two things. And how it is based on these two things? Because of the virtualized and the dynamic nature of the system. So you will find all the servers, they are virtualized, all the servers are dynamic in in the data centers. Okay, so right now I'm not talking about Microsoft data centers, but in any data centers all the servers will be virtualized and dynamic, and that is why the resources can be shared across the pool of users. Okay, and multi-tenancy is again the same thing, enabling sharing of resources, and it also helps the cost when it also provides the benefit of cost budget. Okay, so you can manage it. And here one advantage is that the whole infrastructure is abstracted from the uh, users. Okay, they don't aware about the infrastructure, what are the servers they are using, anything about it. Okay, they simply send the request for a VM or a virtual machine, and instantly they can start working on it. The good thing, if you compare it with hosted model, is that you only need to pay for the service you are using. Okay, it is not like a fixed kind of a rent. In case if you have taken the systems uh, and you're only using for 5 or 10 days, you only need to pay for those 5-10 days. You do not need to pay for the entire month. Okay, so maybe you might not very clear with the shared or multi-tenant thing. We will discuss it in more detail later in the session. It is actually a Microsoft Cloud, but before coming to this particular slide, okay, let me